everyone, and welcome back to Chrome Cardboard, your home of the Cyberpunk TCG. I am here with Kieran, who is my co-host today.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing very good today, thank you.
Good.
Release date's getting closer, so I'm getting excited to get these cards out.
Very exciting times.
It is.
Yeah. So we've just had the stream date announced, haven't we, for the
Yes.
Rebecca card for any backers that have backed the Kickstarter. We've been given the stream date, which is the 4th of September, I believe. If
Yes.
you join that, there's an opportunity to pick up your own promo if you couldn't get out to Gen Con in America. So yeah, the exciting times for us, especially in the UK, to get our hands on that card. I know, Kieran, that's one of your favourite arts we've seen so
It
far.
is.
So I
It's
imagine
my
you'll be
favourite art
jumping on.
so far. I'll definitely be jumping on. Got to get them free cards where we can.
We're all about that shiny cardboard, the chrome cardboard, baby. That's what we're all here for. But yeah, so today we're going to jump into our tier list of programs. So got 26 to go through so far. I think
Yep.
we're nearly at the end of all of the reveals now, but I think we're at a good stage to start really putting things in an order of what is good, what's bad. So yeah, going to jump in with
Yep.
programs.
I think we've only got about 20 cards left.
I believe so. I can check while we are good and quick. So we have 126 cards revealed out of 140. 14 cards left to
Okay.
go.
Not many at all.
Not many at all. But yeah, should we jump into the tier list?
Let's go.
So the first one we have on the list is in red. It is a one cost program. 2 ram goes in any red deck. And it is All Is Lost. So trash 3, add a unit from among them to your hand. Quite simple. Kieran, what are we thinking?
I think it's good. I think it's not one of the better ones we have so far. I
Yeah,
think it will see some play in there.
100%.
To be fair, I think a lot of red decks are going to be playing it as a staple in there because a lot of red decks are using units. So getting the ability to get a unit in your hand from playing that is pretty good. And
Yeah.
if you're running a lot of units, like I say, then yeah, it should sync quite well. So I would think we'll see play.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I think for me, I do think it's on the top end of Will See Play just because of getting stuff
Yeah,
in the trash is just an extension of your hand.
yeah,
So obviously we've got cards like Screw or Yorinobu that can bring things back and recur things. So I think
yes,
it's just a good way to generate card advantage over your opponent. So I don't think
oh
it's
definitely,
I don't think it's one of the better cards. With the one cost, like this cycle of cards, the one cost that is just essentially pay one, draw one. Um,
yeah,
so I do think it goes into will see play, but I do think it's on the top end of it. I don't think it's quite
definitely.
good enough to go into pretty good, but yeah,
Yeah, the more that we're talking about it now, the more I'm getting like, oh, it's actually quite good.
yeah,
But no, I think there's fine. I'm happy with that for now. Like, but warning to viewers, these will change every single day, probably when we speak, won't they?
100%. As we see decks come out and as we see decks evolve and different
Yeah,
strategies happen over the course of the game, like obviously things will move in different places. So this
yeah.
is just our
We'll
initial
either look
thoughts
really
of where we
clever
rank
or
things,
really
isn't it?
stupid. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So the next one we have is Industrial Assembly. So again, a one cost, one RAM program in red. Um, this is increase a gig by up to 4 if you control a gig with +8 value. Draw the card. So I'll jump in on this one, Kieran. I actually think this is really synergistic with a lot of cards. I think it does a lot of
Yep,
work. It gets you to that higher value of 8. If you obviously rolling 4 on any of your higher, if you roll anything above a 4 on your higher value dice, so that always gets you above the 8. If you already have an 8 and just increase a random gig anyway, you still get to draw the one card. So again, it's just pay one, draw one for me. but it's just got a lot of synergies with what Red wants to do. There's a lot of cards, and there's a few that we'll look at later down the line. Bit of a spoiler for Carnage at the Colosseum, one of the better cards in the game. But this synergizes so
Yes.
well with that card. Some of the units we've seen, the Octant, again, just synergizes really well. So for me, I think I do put this at the bottom of pretty good, just because it gets off your strategy a little bit quicker, and it is only one
Yep.
cost. So, what are your thoughts?
No, I would agree with that. I think it's a pretty good card. As it says there, I think, like you mentioned there, the synergies that you can pull off of it, or what makes it so valuable. I've had a lot of success using it in the decks, and just having the ability to cheaply get them gigs high up throughout the course of the game to
Yeah,
then utilize them to play your bigger cards at the end, like Carnage of the Colosseum, which is cards that can turn the tide of the game for you. So I think having these kind of cards, specifically in red decks at the minute, which want high gigs, I think is very valuable.
yeah, absolutely.
So I am seeing a lot of these played, and I am finding very much good use from them. So I think pretty good, a solid spot for it at the minute.
I don't think it's in the top end of it. I don't think it's anywhere near chromed out, but I do
No,
think it really it's one of them cards that's a necessary evil for your strategy, and it's not one
yeah,
that you're gonna sell a lot because you want to increase those
yeah.
gigs, reduce costs on cards, and then really like overwhelm your
Yep.
opponents with that sort of advantage. So yeah,
No,
I do
definitely.
think it's just one of those cards that just needs to be in decks like that want to do those things. So
I agree. I think the good thing about the programs as well, when we get more units and legends, these programs tier list will probably change dramatically,
yeah, I
because
think so.
obviously a lot of them are tied to what you want to do with the decks and the
Yeah,
legends and stuff. So
yeah,
what's good now might be awful next set,
yeah.
which is half the fun of the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just what pay one, draw one is never bad for me. I always
No.
think it works out quite well. So, next card anyway is Appetite for Destruction. So this is a 3 cost program. That is a 4 ram in red. So has to be in any double red decks if you want to play this card. The next time a friendly unit wins a fight by 3 plus power, this turn it also steals a gig. So, Kieran, what are we thinking?
I'm a fan of this. I do like this card. I don't quite think it's good enough to be in chromed out at the minute,
Yeah,
but I would have it on the top end of pretty good. I think because, especially again, because you're playing double red, you're going to be having probably quite a lot of big units in there, and
yeah,
a lot of them will be winning fights by 3 anyway.
yeah,
So if you can attach this to it, and then you get to clear some board and you get to steal a gig,
yeah.
yeah, it sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't
I
ask for a
don't.
lot more from a card, can you? It's
To me, this card you always want to play this when you're gonna swing into a unit that you know has got less than 3 power than what you're swinging with. So, for example,
yeah,
if you want to swing into a spent unit to get something problematic off the board, that's the way you want to play this card. Then you still get
yeah.
to advance the win con. So, for me, that is really powerful. But again, if your opponent's got blockers, then you're definitely always going to steal that gig while removing a blocker, and
Well,
that's what I think
the,
is so powerful about this card. That I think a
yeah,
little bit, it's been a little bit slept on personally, but I've had a lot of success playing with it.
the thing I like about it as well is you just alluded to it slightly there. If you're playing into a blocker, like, it will also make your opponent think twice about just automatically blocking.
Blocking, yeah.
It's like, do I want to save this for potentially someone else next turn, or something worse, or do I just eat the card and lose the gig now? Like, what's the game plan here? It just adds that extra layer of strategy on to think about. So yeah,
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. So we'll jump into the next one, which is Bonnie and Clyde. It's also a 3 cost program with 3 ram, so it has to go in a double red deck. Defeat a rival unit with 4 power or less. You may defeat 2 instead if a rival controls at least 2 more gigs than you. So for me, I think this is one of the most powerful catch-up cards I think I've seen in any game, really. Um,
yes,
the ideal world is just to remove two blockers, but even just taking out like these some really impactful units that have four or less power that just sit on the board that you can just remove with this, and getting to hit two things for three is just really, really good. It's just efficient removal if they've got an extra gig than you. So if they steal one and then they roll on their turn, like they're just automatically in that position where you can now take out two things for the low cost of three. So I think it's
Yeah.
really, really good. However, I do think it's quite situational. So I think
Yeah.
it goes in the top of will see play. I don't think it's quite pretty good just because of the situations that you have to play it in. But I do think it is a
Okay.
good card, and I do think
Oh,
it will see a lot of play in decks.
that's fair. That's fair enough. I would probably have this in pretty good personally.
Okay.
I think even if you don't get the full effect off and you just get the first part, I think that's still pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Um, Getting a four cost unit, isn't it? You can get rid of four
Yeah.
power
Yeah.
units. Sorry, I think just having the ability to just clear that as well for free is still, in my opinion, still pretty strong. I do get the situational thing, so I think it's not quite as good as it could be. But
Yeah.
as you said, it is definitely one of the best catch-up cards I've seen in a card game.
Yeah. It is.
Um,
It can really. It just gets you back in the game when you're
it
behind.
does.
So
When that happens and when you get to play this and get the full ability off it, it does feel really nice.
yeah,
But
it
like you
does.
say, it is situational as well. But yeah, I like it. If I would put it pretty good, but probably lower endish. So I think we've
Do you
got
know
it
what?
now. It
I'm
is
happy with that.
fine as well.
I'm happy with that. Let's go. Let's go to the bottom end of pretty good because I actually do think it's a good card. I just think
Yeah,
in certain situations it's like, oh, I wish it wasn't this one, but
yeah. I get that. I
it's
understand that
still got
completely.
its really good qualities, which
Yeah,
that's why you put
the,
these cards in the deck because you want them to win you the game
definitely.
ultimately.
The way I look at a card like this is, I'm assuming it's always going to be removing four cost or four power
Yeah,
units. Sorry,
yeah,
if I get the second ability off, then
happy
great.
days.
If
Yeah,
not, I wasn't expecting to. So
happy days. Shall we move on to the next one? So the next
go
one we
for it.
have is Over the Edge. So again, another three cost program. Only two ramp, so can go in a single red deck. So single red removal. Defeat a unit with power equal to or less than the value of a friendly D20. So Kieran, come to you on this one. What are we thinking?
I really like the idea behind this card.
Yeah,
However, in practice, I don't think it's quite played out how I wanted to, and I found consistency issues with it. I
yeah,
think the idea is you roll a d20, you take out a unit is really good, really strong. I've just never found that it takes out a lot of big units without gig manipulation. So like, ideally, you'd want to be playing this the turn after you roll your d20, in my opinion. But if you roll that, it can be a bit awkward, and then you've got to manipulate the gigs.
yeah.
But then
Industrial
if you
assembly
want,
comes in
if
clutch there.
yeah, it does. But then if you're doing that, you also sort of taking a late turn off from playing a big body.
Yeah, yeah,
So for
absolutely.
me, it's a bit, do I play the Adam Smasher? Do I play this and go with the D20 board removal? I think it's good. I think it will see play. For me, I would probably have it in top end of will see play. It does definitely have its utility and it can hit a massive unit if you got the RNG gods on your side, which we all know how that goes sometimes. So yeah, for me, I'd say will see play. It's a good card.
I
A little bit
do.
inconsistent for my liking.
Yeah, I think I do completely agree with everything you've said. I think my issue with this card is just the fact that it says a D20, so it's just
Yeah,
like game removal. Even
yeah,
and even like yes, you want it to hit a big body, but even just taking out a blocker to maybe steal two gigs so you get yourself in front to win the game can
yeah,
work out in your favour. But how often is that going to happen? Like, you put answers into your deck to as fail safes or stuff like that. So I I
yeah.
do see it winning a few games here and there, but I just the fact that it says D20 on it is the part that I'm not a
for
fan
sure.
of. If it was,
I think. Go on.
if it costs, for example, two more eddies, and just red removes or defeat a unit with power equal to or less than the value of any friendly gig, I think that
Yeah,
would be so much more balanced and so much more versatile for what this card wants to do. It's just the fact that it's a D20
definitely.
is the downside.
I think it's one of them cards you do play it if you're running red. Like, there's no reason not to play it,
Yeah,
and you will get use from it. But
yeah.
yeah, for me, it's just not always going to be the optimal turn, probably. Um,
So yeah, happy with that placement. Top of will see play because again, do think it will. So we'll jump on to the next one, which is actually a new card. We've not done a reveal on this card. We've not given any thoughts. So this will be quite an interesting one. So this is a 4 cost program. It's again 3 ram, so double red. Gunpoint diplomacy. Give a friendly unit these effects. If you have less street cred than a rival, they choose one effect for you. That is really interesting. The next time this unit attacks, oh, this is the first effect, sorry. The next time this unit attacks this turn, it may attack ready units. Give this unit +3 power this turn. So I personally really like this card. I actually think, from a gameplay perspective, it's brilliant. Um, you know, again, doing what red wants to do. It wants to have high street cred. So if you've got less, you still get both effects, but it's also a downside on it, which
mm,
I just find really interesting. Um, the effects are really good, +3 power and attack ready units. So if they play a problematic unit, you just get to give your unit +3 and then challenge in, take it out, get it off the board. Um, I haven't tested this card. Initially reading it, I think it's definitely in pretty good, probably around there. I do
yeah,
think it could
no,
go
that,
higher. Um,
mm,
I think it's got a lot of versatility. Just being able to take out a ready unit is really powerful to me. Could go in chromed out, but I haven't tested it, so it's difficult to place it without having played with the card. But what are you thinking, Kieran?
I'm thinking along the same lines as you, to be honest. Again, I've not play tested this. It's a newish card. I've not been on since.
Yeah,
So just reading it, it does sound very powerful. Um, getting it, either of them effects on their own are both pretty good. Getting the ability to use two of them for 4 cost seems very, very good to me. You can pair it up as well with, I forget its name, the one we done a few cards ago. If you defeat a rival unit by 3, you get the gig.
yeah,
So you could pair this up for some late game shenanigans around there. This boosts you up. You smash into a ready unit. You also take a gig.
yeah,
It seems pretty strong to me. It seems
yeah.
like it's a nice synergy. So yeah, I'm happy sticking it in pretty good for now until we actually do some testing and see how it plays out. But
Absolutely. It's
it
definitely one
seems
I'm going
very
to be throwing
strong.
in my decks.
Yeah, I think a few people will reading this card.
So
It
we'll,
just plays well with red as well. Like,
yeah,
it's what
absolutely.
red wants to do. So
100% what red wants to do. It wants to have high street cred. It wants to challenge in, and it wants to be big units. So +3 is always a nice stat line. But moving on to the final red program we have. So this is a 6 cost unit, 6 cost program. Again, 3 ram. Love these double red programs. And it's Carnage of the Colosseum. So it's one we've had for a while. And play this program for -1 eddy for each friendly gig with a plus value to a minimum of 1 eddy. So you could potentially play this for 1 eddy. Defeat a rival unit with less power than a friendly unit. Kieran, where is this card going?
I think this goes straight into chromed out. Personally,
Yeah,
I think
couldn't
it's
agree more.
one of the strongest programs we have in the game by far. I've found out when I've been playing, you usually get this out for 3 or 4 eddies average.
Yeah,
That seems to be the benchmark for it. So getting this out for 3 or 4, and then being able
so
to
powerful.
destroy, yeah, exactly, and then just smashing down a unit which is lower than one of yours, and you're playing red, so you have quite a lot of big units. If you play the new animal man, is it? Well, I
Yeah,
forget. It's the new animal card, the 6 cost 10 power
six
vanilla
ten.
card that we need. Yeah, if you play that and then you can play this the turn after, like you clear them pretty much up any board,
Yeah,
and you
you're
can
gonna
play
be
that
sending
sort of
blue.
mid
Yeah,
game. So I'm a big fan of it. I think it's going to be in every red deck. It's going to see a lot of play.
yeah.
So yeah, what about yourself, Steve?
Couldn't agree more. I think it's one of the best cards I've played with in the game. Again, on average, 3 or 4 eddies is pretty much spot on. It's very consistent at that price point. Um, Again, it just works with what Red wants to do. I really like it with Industrial Assembly because
Yeah,
you can't like you play Industrial Assembly for that extra eddy, then you get an extra gig up above 8, and then it reduces this, so you can then play it. Like it just all synergizes really nicely. It all works really well together. And then as we just mentioned, these are 610 vanilla unit that is just perfect. That wants to see this card all the time because you get to take out
definitely.
anything in the mid game pretty much, and it
I,
just yeah controls the
I
board.
think it's going to be a. I think it's going to be a red staple for a while to come.
Yeah,
It's just so strong.
it
Like,
is so good. Um, so we'll move on to yellow. So the first card we have in yellow is a 1 cost program, 1 yellow ram, so it goes into any yellow deck, and it's after party at Lizzie's. Adjust a gig by up to 1. If you control 2 or more gigs with different values, draw a card. Um, Similar to all is lost in that sort of cycle of cards that I mentioned before. Like
yep,
they want to do little gameplay mechanics just to draw a card. So this manipulates gigs. Um, I'll be honest. From playing with this card, I sell it most of the time. I do think it's got like pay one draw one's always good. I do think that, but this it just never feels quite good enough to play. Whereas like all is lost, and then I put 2 units in my discard or in my trash, and then I play screw dies, I get a unit back. Like I just don't see I just always think this card's better sold. But what are you thinking, Kieran?
yeah. No, I agree. Again, this is one of the cards I tend to sell more. Because we do have to sell cards at the end of the day,
Exactly.
to be able to function our decks, and I think this is probably going to be sold 85% of the time.
Yeah.
In a pinch, you may play it to adjust the gigs and then get to draw. But I also don't think, from memory, there's a lot of cards in yellow that necessarily need the gig manipulation. Um, I may be wrong, so if I am, feel free to call me out on that in the comments. But unless you're pairing it with something that needs the gig manipulation, but then I feel like there's better options to be doing that, and you can manipulate them to a higher level. So for me, yeah, I would say it's a sellable, definitely.
I think if you're gonna do gig manipulation, you kind of want to be either playing in. You're gonna pair yellow with either red or blue in that regard, and then maybe a Jackie
Yeah,
Wells to go low. Any of the red cards that want to go high, as
yeah.
we've just discussed. There's the gear, the Zeta Tech faceplate that cares about gig manipulation and that potentially could draw you an extra
Oh yeah,
card. But
yeah.
I don't think it does enough. I
No,
just think it's always better sold as a resource. I do tend to put this in any of the decks that I've played, but with a limited card pool, you need to play sellable
yeah.
cards, and this is one that always gets sold for me.
It tends to go in. It's one of them cards you build your core deck, and then you sort of throw these in at the end, like it's sellable
Exactly.
and it can come in useful.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The next card we have is a 2 cost program. It has 3 RAM, so is double yellow decks, and the card is Safety Override. So this is a quick hack, the first quick hack we've looked at so far. The next time a friendly
This-
unit loses a fight this turn, defeat the opposing rival unit. So, Kieran, where are we
I'm a
thinking on
big
this one?
fan of this. I think this one goes to Chromed Out personally. I've not overly tested this card at the minute. I've not, yellow's not been my main colour lately, but I think the ability to quick hack this onto a little jump blocker, like a bombardier unit, is a called the 2 cost one.
Yeah,
and then block something, and then you just kill their big unit that's swung. That just seems extremely powerful to me, and that's where
it
I've
does.
found the most success of it. It's kind of crazy. Like you can just block it, 10 cost. Okay, cool, quick hack. You can kill my unit, and I'll kill your big one as well.
Yeah,
I'll happily take that trade any day of the week.
and you
So for
and you
me,
you make and you're blocking as well. You're stopping them
yeah,
advancing the win con.
exactly.
For example,
So
the 610 we mentioned, just getting rid of the
yeah,
610 just because of you've paid two.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's just nuts.
Like I will happily play two on a unit to get rid of a 610.
Yeah,
I'll take
any
that
day of the
trade
week.
all day.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
will
I think
slow
combo
down my
for
game
me.
plan to get rid of that 610. I will not play a card if I've got safety override and a blocker. That 610
Yeah,
is going.
exactly. I mean that doesn't start when you say it like that. That is actually a very good move sometimes because it just stalls your opponent out, and
Yeah,
then it makes them think, oh, what am I going to do next turn now? Because I'd sort of plan to keep this on the board. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm
It,
a fan of
it
it
also
anyway.
puts them on the back foot as well because if you go, oh, have you
Yeah,
got
yeah,
more of them? How many safety overrides are you playing? You've got another,
exactly.
you've got another bomber that's sat there with no power. Is that
Yeah,
just
yeah.
going to kill another one of my big units? Like,
Exactly. And even
it's
if you just
just,
leave two eddies up just to
yeah,
bluff, it makes them
exactly,
think twice, doesn't it? So I mean, we
100%.
like a bluff in the card game.
Oh, love a good bluff, love a good bluff. Moving on. So the next one is a two-cost program. It is a two ram, so can go into any yellow deck, and it is the heist. So this reads trash four, add a gear from among them to your hand. I think that's really solid on its own.
Yeah.
If the gears cost equals the value of a friendly gig, you may play it for free instead. Little bit of RNG, not going to be the most consistent thing in the world. However, I think the trash four effect is what you really play in this card for. So
Mhm.
if you've seen any of our videos, any of our shorts, I did a little combo piece with this card, talking about being able to play Adam Smash at turn two. It's really powerful in that regard. Like if you can pull off that
Why
combination.
not?
Um, so, however, outside of that, I don't think it's the most powerful cards we've got out there. Again, synergize as well with yellow if you're going for like a double red yellow deck, two trash cards, and then potentially get them back. Playing All Is Lost, playing Screw, playing Yorinobu. So I do think it's got its utilities. For me, it goes
Yep.
into Will See Play. I think it's better than All Is Lost. Don't think it's as good as Over the Edge. Um, but yeah, I do think it's definitely a card that we are going to see people play a
Yeah,
lot of.
for sure. I think for me, any card that is part of a combo that lets you play Adam Smash at turn two is chromed out. But
That's
I'm
fair
joking.
enough. If it was
Honestly,
consistent,
honestly,
if it was consistent, it would be at the very top
yeah,
of
yeah,
Chromed
yeah.
Out.
No, that's fair enough. But no, as far as the combo is, I do think this is a will see play card.
Yeah.
Um, I think the trash four Adigity hand is very strong. I think the second one is it's very
If you pull that
RNG
off, you
heavy.
feel fantastic. But how often are you going to pull it off?
Exactly. Like probably never, to be honest. Like, I know you've pulled it off, but I will never pull that one off. I can
I,
guarantee you.
I did have a
Um,
really good game, but this is like just the gods aligned, and basically I rolled a one,
yep.
played the heist, and then got a Kuroshi Optics onto a unit, and
Nice.
then flipped Dum Dum and got rid of the Kuroshi Optics to draw two cards, and I was like, that
That's what
combination
we
of
like.
events is never going to happen again. But that was amazing.
No. That's a fire start. Like
Oh,
you get
it
that
was
once in never.
exactly. It was unbelievable. But
I
it's
know.
just never going to happen again. But I do like the card. I
No,
think it will see play, and yeah, it has got a good effect. So
definitely.
you know, definitely in the right place there.
No, I agree for sure.
Um, moving on to the next one. So we have a three cost program, two ram. So any yellow deck, and it is a favourite of one of ours that we've spoke about a few times. It's Cyber Psychosis. So again,
Yes,
another quick
sir.
hack. We've had this card for a while, but I'll refresh everyone's memory. Given equipped units +3 power this turn for each of its equipped gears. If that unit steals or fights, defeat it at the end of this turn. So, Kieran, coming to you, what are we thinking?
I think this, when we first seen this card, I thought it was pretty strong, and I think my stance on it is still the exact same. I think it's pretty good. Don't think it's quite good enough for chromed out for me.
Yep.
But I think a top end of pretty good is
So are
where
we
I would
going
probably
above
put it.
Appetite for Destruction?
Below, I think below that. I think Appetite, and then I would probably have this next in my personal ranking.
Yeah.
I think it is really good, and I think the slight drawback for me is it is free on a quick, so you do have to leave quite a bit of resource behind to play it,
Yeah.
which can sort of
I think if it was
lose a
any
bit of
cheaper,
momentum on
it
your turn.
probably goes in chromed out.
It would definitely be in Chromed Out. I think if it's a 2, it's in Chromed Out. I think that add 1 on is just, for me, puts it a bit there, because it makes you, is it really worth doing that, or do I want to advance my board state a bit more on my turn?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit situational, but when you do use it and someone swings, and if you manage to block or whatever, and you clear the unit, it does feel good.
Yeah.
Just make sure, I will say, disclaimer, because I made this mistake when I originally played it first time. If you do it and then they go above 10, make sure you can block it. Otherwise, you lose 2 gigs.
Yeah.
So I learned my lesson the hard way. So, what are you thinking on that?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think spot on analysis. One thing that we we I would like to allude to is the fact that this can be used offensively. So,
Yeah,
obviously with the quick ability, you start to think, oh, I want to play this in the react phase, but I really like playing this on like to finish as a game finisher. Like I've taken
okay.
a lot of gigs with this. For example, I've
Yeah,
actually played this on a Rush Legend in the late game. That's also been stacked with um equipment. So it had like double mantis blades, which gives it +8.
yeah, yeah.
So that's already what 16. No, 14. Sorry, and then
No,
it's
yeah, it gets +6, isn't it? And
and then
then,
I give it +3, so I get to 20. I took three
yeah.
gigs, 3 gigs in
See,
the late game.
I've not
So
actually thought about using it offensively, but that's actually a really good idea.
I
Like, I'm
actually
glad you've
think
told me
that's where
about
it
that
gets
now,
a
because
lot
I'll
of
try
power.
it. Yeah,
Like
no, definitely.
genuinely, like, and it works really well with Royce again. Dum Dums in that
Yeah,
deck, so you're gonna find these cards, um,
yeah, definitely.
and it's
It's one of
just a
them
good way
cards,
to
isn't it? I
close the
think.
game.
No, definitely. Like you've just said there, it's I can win the game if I get to 20 and steal the extra gigs. I
Yeah,
win the game. I sack the unit, but I get the game. It's a good trade off. No,
yeah,
that's actually a really good point. I've not actually used it in that way before,
yeah,
so I'm gonna try that out
yeah. And
now.
then
Just try and surprise
even,
someone.
so I went up to, I think in that game I went up to 9 gigs because I'd stolen 3, so I actually had 6 anyway.
Yeah,
Obviously I had to sack my Roos, but I then was sat there with 2 blockers. So I was like, you
yeah,
now have to get through 2 blockers and then still be able to steal gigs. They only had 2
yeah,
units on board. So,
yeah. So
it,
at that
it's
point, you're
it's
pretty
quite a difficult
confident.
position to put your opponent in. Even though I'd sacked my big unit, I'm sitting there pretty with 2 blockers going, I'm going to win
Yeah,
the game because
definitely.
even if you can steal 2 gigs, I'm still on 7.
Yeah, yeah. I bet he was not expecting that.
No, it does catch people off guard.
Oh, definitely.
So,
They're the kind of plays we like, though. So,
yeah. They're what you're going to see win games and coming out of
oh
nowhere
yeah,
to do that. So,
definitely.
but
Think outside the box and doing stuff people don't expect. That's how
exactly,
you win.
yeah, 100%. Moving on to the next one. So we've got another 3 cost program. It's got 3 RAM. It's live with the aftermath. Each player defeats one of their units. Nice and simple. Kieran, I'm going to jump in on this one. I'm going to put this
Go for
straight
it.
into chromed out. I love this card. I think it's one of the best cards in the game right now. I just think it's really powerful for any yellow strategy. Um, I've been playing a lot of double yellow because of some of the cards that we've seen, and I just think like even when you have a slow start, because and the reason I say this is because the next card we're going to talk about. is the one that's going to really make this show why this is so good. You play this when you've got no units, or you play this when you've got a really low cost unit that you're not really too bothered to lose. Maybe like a jacked in Voodoo Boys, one that we've spoke about that we're not a big fan of, something that you're happy to let go of, and then you just take
Yep.
away one of their bigger things, and it feels so good to just to play this. I've actually had turns where they've had 2 units on board, just played this twice for 6 eddies, and
Yeah.
I've
Just decimate the
equalised the
board.
game.
It
Um, so
is crazy when you can do that.
it's yeah, it's it, and they've spent turns building up. I can't remember what those units were. I actually think one of them was a Goro, bodyguard.
Okay.
So, like uh, the gear that readies it,
Yeah, the sand Sandavastan.
Sandanas, yeah. So he was
The
ready, and
Sandy
then
for short.
Sandy, and yeah, it just took out those 2 units. Took out those 2 units, and and then in a better position because obviously he's lost the legend, he's lost the resource that he can
Yeah.
spend, and it just puts me in a nice spot moving forward. So
No, definitely. I would agree with that. I think Chromed Out's the perfect spot for this. I think you've covered all the main points on that there, which I would have went on with anyway. It's just really powerful. I
it is.
think we're seeing a theme here with our Chromed Out cards, and I think we'll find the removal is strong
Play
in this
good
game.
removal.
I mean, that's a good line for every TCG. I do think, especially in this so far, from what I've tested, the removal cards are very strong at the minute. So yeah, if you are watching, listening, get some removal in your deck. You can never have too much removal.
Following on from Kieran's wise words, we'll move on to the last yellow card we've got. So this is a 5 cost program. It is 4 yellow ram, so bear in mind double yellow death. Bootleg Black Sapphire Show. Sell the top card of your deck. A little bit of ramp for all you ramp lovers out there. I'm definitely one of those.
Yep.
If you
Yes, you
control
are.
a gig with an even value and a gig with an odd value, draw. Kieran, where's it going?
I'm putting this in Chromed Out personally. I think it's probably on the lower end of Chromed Out. Probably the worst one at the minute in that tier. But as a card, it's extremely good. I mean, it gives ramp, which we're lacking in this game at the minute,
Yeah.
and it can help you ramp up to, as you know, the Add and Smasher card we mentioned before. And then I think the second part of that as well, if you've got a gig with even and odd, you can get draw two. Getting to ramp
Why
and
is that
draw two
there?
cards is crazy.
Why?
But
I don't understand why it's there.
I've no idea. It's ridiculous. You
And
might not
it's not,
always get the draw two, but
yeah,
you
it's
do
not the
most of
most
the time. I've
consistent.
found.
It's not the most consistent
Yeah,
thing, but like when you just get to draw an extra 2 cards while selling the top card of your deck, do you know what actually really?
exactly.
Do you know what comes into really good use is
The card we mentioned before, what we
after
said is no
party at
use.
Lizzie's. You
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
get to play it before the ramp, but because it just says sell the tap card in your deck, so it comes in ready, and then you've got an extra, so you can potentially draw 3 that turn just by because you're gonna have an odd and an even, which you'll have
yeah,
different values on the gigs for after party at Lizzie's. You just spend that
yeah,
extra 1 eddy, or you call a legend. Like there's so many different things you can do with that extra eddy that like people haven't been talking about. Um, if you're playing any ramp
definitely.
decks or you want to get to those bigger units fair, like sooner rather than later, this card is ridiculous. Like I've played it in
It's really good.
double yellow blue as well with Placide to get up to a Placide really quickly, and then you just
Yes,
win the
and
game
then
with
smash
Placide.
them down. Yeah,
So
once he's down, unless you can get him off.
it just wins you the game, and you get there so quick. You get there by the
No,
time you've rolled your 4th dice, and you're
yeah,
like, you just I just find it so powerful.
it's really good. It's definitely one of the stronger cards in the game. I would like to see some more ramp cards in the game.
Yeah,
I think this is the only real one we have at the minute.
maybe
But
not
if they're
ramp
all going to be
cards
this
that will
strong,
also draw two
then
cards though.
yeah, maybe not. But you know, I'll take cards that just ramp me. If you want to
Yeah,
give me draw two as well, I'll take that. Like, but
every ramp card is now going to come with draw two.
oh well, they set the present now, haven't they? So it's When we get the next ROM card, everyone's going to be like, "That's no good. Look at the one you gave us last time."
I sell a top card to me deck and no draw two. Are you kidding? What?
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no, fantastic card. It really is. But yeah, we'll jump into green. So getting into our third colour. I know this is a fan favorite colour for Kieran, so he'll have
yes,
a
sir.
lot of good stuff to talk about for green. So the first one is a one cost program, one ram, so goes into any green deck. Peace offering. You may set a gig's value to the value of another gig. Then, if you control the value pair, draw one card. What are we saying, Kieran?
I think this is back end pretty good, maybe. Um, Having said that, I think it depends on what the deck it's in with and the synergies it works with.
Yeah,
Because I play this in a blue green deck at the minute, and I have Hanako Arasaka as one of the legends,
yeah,
which lets you get extra card draw off value gigs. So if you're playing this and then you manipulate your dice to get the value gigs, you get the draw off this, and then you get the draw off the Hanako next turn. So in that sense, it's very strong. I think if you're just evaluating it as a card on its own, um, saying that now, probably top end of Will C play. Um, it's hard, this one. I think it's going to depend on what the method is.
yeah,
If it's a meta with like a Hanako Arasaka in it, this is going to be a very strong card.
yeah.
If
It's going to
it's
be one
not
that's
so
played
much a
through.
meta with that, it's yeah, exactly. It will still see play because just its base stuff, what it does on its own, is still pretty good. So yeah, around there, I think top end of that maybe.
Yeah.
What are you thinking on it?
So for me, I haven't played with this card a little bit. I have played with it enough to say that I do sell it more often than not. But
Okay,
that's not because it's not good. I just haven't been playing Hanako.
yeah,
Whereas if you're playing Hanako, this card is ridiculous.
yeah,
I do think it's pretty good if you're playing Hanako. I do think that it will see play regardless because we don't have loads of options for sellable cards. So when you're building your deck, you have to put these in. You know,
yeah.
I don't know about you, but my decks tend to be anywhere between 60 and 67% sellable cards. So
Yeah, I think that's sort of a good spot to be aiming for when you're deck building. If you're aiming for the 40 card build,
yeah,
I think that's a reasonable amount to go for.
so this is just a sellable card that's always there, and I haven't been playing Hanako. So for me, it's
That's fair
definitely
enough.
will see play. I
Yeah.
do sell it a lot though. I will say that, but that's not because I don't think
No,
it's good. It's just
yeah, it's just
the
the
way the
deck you're
games
playing
have
with.
gone
It's
right.
not
It's just not
most
been the way
suited
I need
to.
to go.
Yeah, it is great. Like the one thing I love about playing the Hanako one with this is it's some games I'm playing. I'm drawing 3 cards a turn
Yeah,
because I've
yeah,
played this like
and
once
that's
or twice,
ridiculous.
manipulated the gigs, and then Hanako kicks off, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll take 3 cards. I have actually got down to less than 10 cards in my deck a few times just because I'm going through them that quick.
Yeah,
Annoyingly, one game I had all my proceeds in the bottom 10 cards, and I needed them. I just couldn't get them.
should have played more peace offerings.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently so.
Um, are we happy with that placement then? Yeah, Tapper will see play.
Yeah.
Good.
Go for it.
So we'll jump into the next one, which is a one cost program with one RAM. So again, any green deck. This is Synapsis Burnout. So again, the first quick ability we've seen in green. A friendly unit has +1 power for each friendly face-up legend while fighting rival units this turn. Um, I'll take this one, Kieran. I think on the face of it,
Go
this
for it.
card looks fantastic. I think this is something that you want to play on the defense when um, someone swings in and you just buff up your unit by 3 by paying 1. However, in practice, I have found this gets sold an awful lot. So
Yeah.
I am going to drop this. It is
In
above,
theory and in practice, two different
very
monsters, aren't
different.
they?
So I am going to drop it there for now. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
I'm happy for it to go bottom of Will See play. Don't think it goes into pretty good, but yeah, what do you think?
Nah. I think it's a sellable. I do run this in the deck I'm playing at the minute, and I think I sell it 95% of the time.
Yeah, so we're in the same
Again,
position.
like you said on the last card, it's not that I think it's a bad card. I just think in the deck I'm playing at the minute, it doesn't. There's better cards to do what I want to do, and
Yeah,
this is just always a card I need to sell because, like we said before, we do need cards to sell. So depending on the synergy of the deck, for me, I've found this is one of the more sellable cards. Maybe if you're running a different style build with green and you're playing a lot more blockers and stuff like that with the there's a what's his name? Your mind's gone blank. The Arasaka unit that
Goro.
comes out and it can block. Goro, that's it. Completely lost my mind there. If you're playing like a Goro and then you can play this as well, probably some good synergy. But for me, so far, I'm thinking it as a sellable.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
completely agree.
Goro.
Completely agree. Um, Moving on to the next one, we have a two cost program, which is a one green ramp. So again, any green deck. Um, Corporate surveillance. Spend the rival unit with 4 cost or less. So, Kieran, I'll come to you on this one. What are your thoughts?
I like this card. It's not one of my favourite ones, but I do find it does have its uses and its utility. It's good for just when you want to try and go for game and if they've got like a little blocker out,
Yeah.
and you can try and just snatch the victory. It is a bit situational. So for me, I would probably middle to back end of will see play. I think I do play it
Um,
occasionally, but I
ab-
also sell it a lot. So
Above or below the heist?
um, I think uh, above maybe. I think
Above? Yep.
yeah, I think so. What do you think on that? Would you agree with
Yeah.
that or
Yeah.
yeah?
I'm happy with that. I do agree with you. I think this card's much better in the late game. I do think it's got a juices in the mid game.
Mm,
If they've played like a nice little value piece that's only like 4 cost or less, I think Meredith Strauss,
yeah.
for example, is only a 4 cost unit. So she's the first one that comes
Yes.
to mind. Kerry Eurodyne, I believe, is only a 4 cost unit, the one that can draw cards in red.
Yes. Yeah, that
So
is four cost, yeah.
there is some really nice cards that this hits, and you can just like then challenge in to take it out. So yeah, I do think it's got juices there. However, I do think that where this card shines is the late game. They've set up a couple of
Yeah.
blockers. You just spend their blockers, swing in, take gigs, set up your own blockers, and say, I'm now the you have to come after me, otherwise I win the game."
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so yeah, no, definitely agree with the placement. Um, Jumping on to the next one, we have another 2 cost program. Um, it is 3 green ram, and it's Fool on the Hill. So reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. A rival chooses whether you add them to your hand or trash them. If you trash them, draw 2. Quite an interesting one, this. On the face of it, it's always
Yeah.
pay 2, draw 2, which, one thing you
Yeah.
hear me say a lot is like just drawing cards like that, like cantrips in that fashion are quite good. Very good
I
value on
think
the
that's a staple
resource.
in every episode, isn't it? Card
It's
draw is good.
it's just imagine playing a card game and going, I don't want to draw cards.
I know, yeah. You take my cards, you can have them. I'll discard the rest.
Exactly. It's it's just something that you need to do to generate advantage. So, however, this one's a bit of a strange one. It goes in double yellow, double green decks, which I find quite restrictive. For what the effect is, because it's giving your opponent a lot of information. Um,
Yep.
Again, good. I don't mind it, like in a potential red strategy where you could get things back, or a yellow strategy. I believe the relic is double yellow, so you can't actually play it with that. So actually, I don't know how much
Yes.
versatility it's got. I feel like it's just always getting rid of. If you flick 2 really strong cards, you're then just going to draw absolute garbage and just be like, well, even though I've done draw 2, pay 2, draw 2, I've now drawn absolute nonsense cards that do nothing for me, and they've just got rid of 2 of
Yeah.
my win cons. Um,
Definitely.
I,
I think that's the problem I have with it is your opponent gets to choose.
yeah,
Um, and why draw two, pay two, draw two is good on the face. I have found when I'm playing into it, so my opponent's got it.
it
Like
just
if
fingers
you
so
know
much
what your
abuse.
opponent's look exactly, if you know what your opponent needs, and if you can see they're struggling, and they show you two cards which are going to be useful, you just say no, bottom deck them.
Yeah,
Is it bottom deck or trash?
no trash.
Trash them. Sorry. See, yeah, you just say no, trash them, and then you can draw two more, but the odds of them getting another two which are as useful is pretty low. So
Exactly.
for me, it's like it's I think it's a sellable personally.
Yeah,
It's just I've never seen it work in practice as good as it sounds on the card.
yeah. I actually
But
think it's below After Party at Lizzie's or
yeah, definitely. I feel like you
moving.
say, it's just too much information.
Yeah,
So
it is just too much information to your opponents for the cost of two. Like
yeah,
nuts. Moving swiftly on from the Fool on the Hill, we will move into the next one, which is a two-cost program with two green ram. It's another quick ability, so one that can be played in the react phase. It's Take Control. A rival unit steals one fewer gig this turn. If that unit is an AI, drone, or vehicle, draw one. Kieran, coming to you. What are we thinking?
for me, I run this in the decks I'm playing at the minute, but I very rarely use it. Um, I'm tempted to say top of sellable, bottom of will see play. I think it will see play, and I think in certain decks it could be useful. I've never seen the second part of the ability happen, and you get the card draw. I've only, whenever I've seen it used, it's only ever been to stop a gig getting
Yeah,
taken, which is good.
it is
But
good.
yeah, again, it's not a bad card for me. I just don't. It's not getting its use in the decks I'm running at the minute. I don't think it's just getting sold so I can do the other stuff I want to do. That's more synergistic for my cards. Um, so for me, yeah, top of the sellable, bottom of will see play. I don't know. What were you thinking on that one?
Um, I'll be honest with you. When I've built green decks, I've not actually put this in my decks.
No.
No, I've not. I just don't think because of the way I've wanted to play green. I want to be using
Yeah.
my resources, so the quickness of it doesn't really entice me. I don't want to be holding up resources just to stop them from stealing a gig. That's not to
Yeah.
say that
Yeah.
you can't put it in a deck and that in a one-off where you can't spend your resources. But I've been playing a lot of Pan Am, so I tend to
Yeah.
spend a lot of my resources because I like play out my
Yes.
turns to make sure that I'm getting the value out of that card. Um,
Definitely.
so I
I have
just
found and
yeah,
go on. Sorry.
no, I just don't see where it fits. So for me, if I was playing it, it would just get sold a lot. And as you mentioned before,
Mhm.
the second part of the card is so situational.
Yes.
You just, yeah, it's just not
I've,
worth playing it for that piece of text.
no, definitely not. Always going to say is that what I have found playing Cyberpunk so far is the resource management is a lot harder than some other games,
Yeah,
and you do have a lot less resources to play around with, and you get to them. It seems not as quick and efficient. You seem to be playing your cards, which take up the majority of your resources most turns,
yeah,
and it is hard to keep even one back.
yeah.
Once you get into the mid to late game, you kind of spending everything you can. And then you do get to a point further on where you can keep more back. But I personally have found keeping two, three is impossible sometimes. Back unless you've got ways to manipulate that and give you ready eddies at the end of the turn. It is a hard thing to balance. I found at the minute, which is good. I enjoy it. But yeah,
Cyberpunk's a really interesting game for that, though, really, isn't it? Because if you think
yes,
about it, you start with two resources after. Well, you start with one and then you sell a card. So you're gonna mulligan to make sure you can sell something on turn one. So you're already
yep,
starting with four resources, which, in most games like that we play, like Magic, we both played Lorcanon in the early days. Like
yeah, yeah,
you start on zero. This game you start on
yeah.
going first, you start with two. Going second, you start with four. Like that's a lot.
Um,
Imagine playing a
it
four drop
is,
on
but it
turn one
seems a lot
in
slower
Magic.
as
Like
well.
it feels fantastic.
And it would. I think that's the thing because we've not really got any RAM other than the yellow card.
Yeah,
It feels a lot slower, like
yeah,
just gradually going up. Like in Magic, as you say, like you can ramp up very quick. So before you know it, you're on 5, 6 resources on turn 2, 3. It just feels a lot quicker.
yeah.
Yeah, the resource management just feels. I like it how it feels, and I think it does add another layer of you've got to be a bit more strategic about what you're doing. But yeah,
100%.
it does feel a lot different.
Um, yeah, moving on from Take Control, we're going into our last green program, which is a 5 cost, so quite expensive. It is a 4 RAM program, so has to go in double green decks, and it is wild in the streets. It just reads defeat a spent unit. Um, I will take this one, Kieran, and I will just
Yep.
nicely throw this up there
No
and then
arguments here.
say, what do we think on that placement?
Yeah, no arguments at all. One of the better cards we have. Like I said before, removal in this game is very strong, and this is another very strong removal piece. It may seem a bit expensive, but I think it's worth it. Most of
We're
the
talking
time,
about
you're
Carnage at the
clearing something
Coliseum.
pretty good.
I don't know about your testing, but Carnage tends to hit a lot of spent units, and it's
Yep.
got extra steps, and it costs 1 more. I know it's got the cost reduction, so you do tend to pay less, but
Yeah,
this
yeah,
just reads defeat a spent unit for 5.
yeah.
That's
It,
fantastic.
it is. It's great. It's just good old fashioned. You're going to spend the unit. I'm going to kill it and pay 5, and then I'll play a little card next to it if I can. So it's very good in control style decks. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a really good card. Anyone who's not tested it yet, you'll find out why.
Moving swiftly on into our final colour, which is blue. We have a
Yes.
1 cost program, which is 1 RAM, Flora. It has a quick ability, give a rival unit -1 power this turn, draw 1 card. Kieran, where are we placing this one?
I'll put this probably in the top endish. We'll see play, maybe middle. It's a good card.
Around
It's
here?
yeah, around there somewhere. I think a lot of them cards there are similar. You can move them around as and when.
Yeah.
They're all on the same level at the minute. I think this is in essence pay one draw one. I generally don't really care about to give the rival unit -1. It's occasionally come in pretty handy to save a gig, going from a 10 to a 9, or to save a blocker to use again next turn and kill their unit. But generally, I just use it if I'm trying to cycle through my deck. I just pay the 1, I draw the 1, and I just want to try and farm my pieces to win the game. So I
Yeah.
think it's useful, and I think it will definitely see a lot of play.
Yeah. For this card though, this one, for me, I actually like to use this more offensively than defensively. Again,
Mm-hmm.
the word quick makes you think I have to play this on my turn. You don't have to
Yeah.
play this on your on your
Mm-hmm.
opponent's turn. You can play this on a spent rival unit that has a high power amount that you need to then decrease to challenge in and take it out.
Oh, definitely.
I've
I
actually
always play
used
this on my offensive turn.
3 of these at a turn to get something down that I can then
Yeah,
challenge in and take it out comfortably, and I've got to draw 3 cards. It's
that makes
essentially like
sense.
that makes it better than Over the Edge because it's the same amount. It's the same amount of cost,
Yep,
but I've also replaced the 3 cards, and I get to then
definitely.
take out the unit as well.
No, it's a good point. Again, like these little points and tips are good for people watching who don't necessarily play as offensive as you do, stay.
And not
But
every,
it's good.
not everyone plays the game the same. Not everyone thinks in the
Oh,
same way. So
it's a good
you
thing.
know
That's why I mean you have lots of conversations, and we're like, oh yeah, that will actually work like that, or oh yeah, you done that. I didn't think of
exactly.
that. Because we play different styles and different decks. It's always good to talk to other players and see what they do and why.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I love this car for just cycling in blue, blue, green, just to farm me proceeds and the stuff like that I want to see. So that's what I mainly use it for. So it's a good card.
It is. It is. And then as we floor it onto the next card, hey, awful joke. We have a 1 cost program, which is also 1 RAM, so any blue deck. Trust no one. Decrease a gig by up to 3. Then, if you control a min gig, draw 1. Kieran, where are we
I
thinking?
Again, I'm probably going to stick this one. We'll see play. To be honest, I think it's a very good card. It's got a lot of use. I've had a lot of use out of it. Again, in the blue green
I
high
think it
play,
goes above Flora for me.
yeah, no, definitely. I think it's probably one of the better ones on that tier. But the deck I'm playing lately and been testing is Lucy Alvarez in blue, Jackie Wells in blue, and Hanako Arasaka in green. And this synergizes up very well with the Jackie and the Hanako.
Yeah.
Because if you use this and you've got like a couple of value pairs, if you've already got Mingig, you can then knock a dice down to 2 to get because you still get the card draw off this because it doesn't have to be that one to get the card draw, and then you play a blue unit, and then you use Jackie's ability to knock it down to 1. So then you get the card draw off Jackie as well because that one has to be off a unit you've knocked down to 1, and then on the next turn you go around and you get the card draw off Hanako as well if you manage to keep the gigs. So there is some very nice synergistic uses in this. So I think it's definitely going to see a lot of play, and it's one of the better cards in that tier. How
Yeah.
about yourself?
Completely agree with everything you've just said there. I think it goes in those specific decks with like a Jackie Wells. I think it
Yep.
synergizes more with Hanako than what people would realize because it says buy up to 3. So if you can just make that a value pair for Hanako as well,
Yep.
and realistically, if it's also a min value, you're getting the extra draw off Jackie. Like uh, these just some really nice draw engines in that regard, and then with it being a cantrip as well, like it pay 1 draw 1, great. Oh, pay 1 draw 2 because of Jackie. Oh, it's the start of my turn and I have a value pair, draw an extra card. Like
Exactly.
it can get out of control quite quickly. Just finds
Yeah,
you the
yeah.
pieces you need.
And
So
it's
yeah,
a brain dance also. So if you are playing Judy, it
yeah,
works the head
+1,
ability when you play the brain dance, which has
yeah,
come in useful quite a bit. So I think in certain decks, it's really powerful.
100%. Jumping on to the next one is a 2 cost program. With only 2 blue rams, so any blue deck again, and it's reboot optics. This is another quick ability. The next time a rival unit fights this turn, it doesn't defeat the opposing friendly unit. I'll jump on this one, Kieran. I think this is extremely underrated for what this card does. Um, for me, I don't think it goes into pretty good. I do think it goes at the very top of Will See play though. Um,
Okay.
I include it in most of my blue decks. I use it mostly on blockers,
Yeah.
because you still get the block, and then you get to keep your blocker. Um, yeah, and obviously you can use this on any of your big units as protection. But if you just use it on the blocker, then the blocker still gets to block the unit anyway. So you achieve both things and you keep your blocker. I just find it so versatile for that reason. I do think I actually think it goes into pretty good, but I think people sleep on it. And I do think these other ways of doing it because you have to keep up the 2 resources, so
Hmm.
it does just slip into the will see play. But the argument for pretty good is there. But what are your thoughts?
I'm probably one of the people who undervalues this one. To be fair, I do think it's a really good card. I just don't play it a lot.
Yeah,
To be honest, I've not. It's just not come up for me in a scenario where it's been the optimal play. And again, going back to keeping 2 up on if you're playing defensively, not always ideal. But I do
that's the
agree, it is
drawback.
a good card. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. It is a good card. It will definitely see a lot of play. And I think it's one of them cards. The more the more sets we get, and the more units we get, and the more distinctively different decks that we see built, it will probably creep up and see more and more play. I think
Yeah,
at the minute we're quite limited and we're seeing a lot of similar things getting played
yeah,
because there's only a small card pool for the meta. So I think this one doesn't quite fit in it at the minute. But I still think it's a good card. I think it will definitely see play.
yeah.
So I am happy with that placement.
Yeah, I think for me, the strategy that I've been using with it is like with playing it with Z and like Dying Knight, and
Yeah,
tried out Evelyn with it as well to like make sure I can ready Eddies. So you just tend to be able to then ready. If you, as long as you can ready the two Eddies, then you still get to spend your entire turn doing what you want
yep,
to do, and then you've got two Eddies ready to exploit, you know, the use of the
yeah,
blockers.
definitely.
So it's
I think
just
I think a lot of these cards with the quick hacks are a lot more better in the decks that let you ready the eddies because
yeah.
obviously that sounds stupid, but it just makes it a lot easier to actually use them on
Yeah,
defensive turn.
to pull off what they want to do with exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to do it, so yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to the next one. So we have a 3 cost program. It is a 1 RAM unit. Sorry, 1 RAM program. So it goes into any blue deck. It is Chrome, uh, Revivery. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's what I'm going with. Chrome
Chrome Revere, I
Revivery.
think it is it?
We're
Revere.
also going to change the name of the channel to that because that sounds fantastic. Um, but yeah, this this card reads: a rival unit can't attack until your next turn. If you control a main gig, you may call a legends for free. Now, Kieran, I have an idea of
Yes,
where this is going to go.
it's going straight up to Chrome House, near the top,
Yeah, are we
as it
going
alludes to in its name.
above Carnage, below Carnage,
Um, that's a tough one. I think maybe just below at the minute.
but above Wild in
Maybe.
the Streets?
I think so.
Okay.
That's a tough one. I think they're the top three at the minute, easy.
Yeah.
From what we've got, it's just such a good card. The
Yeah.
utility on it just slows your opponent down. You can play it off the Lizzie Wizzy if you're playing her in blue.
Oh,
Um,
so
and
good.
it playing Lizzie Wizzy into this feels amazing. You get a blocker, you stop their attack. You basically stopping 2 attacks by playing the Lizzie Wizzy down, in essence. And it's just such a good card.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm always playing it. I get tons of use out of it. And I'm assuming you agree to some degree.
Yeah, 100%. I've been playing it a lot with the is it Frigate? You know, the one that allows you to discard a program or discard. I think it's 2 programs.
Oh, Mama Brigette, you discard 2 and
Yeah,
defeat it unequipped
I
unit.
haven't seen a lot of people using that card, but to me,
I
like
love it.
that card, you discard this, then you play out the Lizzie Wizzy the next turn. You get
Yep.
to play this for free. Like, there's so
Yes,
much utility in that scenario of gameplay.
for sure.
But yeah,
That's
this
a
is
great
definitely
combo,
one
by
of
the
the
way.
strongest programs in the game.
I agree. If you can pull out Mama Brigette into Lizzie Wizzy with this card, it's feels so good.
Yeah, it does. Um, Jumping on to the next one. This is a 3 cost program, 3 RAM Pyramid Song. Choose one effect. If a friendly default is a min gig, choose both instead. And the effects are give a rival unit -4 power this turn. Bottom deck a rival unit with 0 power. Um, so at first, when I first seen this card, I wasn't the biggest fan of it.
Yep.
So the the more I've tested it out, the more I've actually played with it. I'm gonna put that probably here. Um, Actually, probably here. Um, I I do think it can be quite difficult to manipulate the board state to get the full value out of it.
Hmm.
Um, However, what if you get the full use out of this card is unbelievable. I've had situations where I've been able to give a rival unit -4, then bottom deck a 0 power blocker, then challenging favorably to the -4 unit,
Yep.
all because I had a D4 and I drew off the Jackie Wells as well. I'm a D4 that what man at 1.
Yep.
and in value, all because, and then I got to draw off the Jackie as well. Like it just that turn was just so swingy.
They're
Even
great
one
turns.
effect, even one effect is
Yeah.
fine, but when you get the full use of this card, it can feel ridiculous.
Oh,
What
for
about you,
sure.
Kieran?
No, I agree. I think it's again. I use it in the deck I'm playing at the minute, and I do get the full effect probably more often than I don't. Just because of the amount of gig manipulation I have in the deck, and it feels really good. Like if they if they're playing a card and then you answer it with that, and it only costs 3 as well.
Yeah,
Like if you got that Mindy one, which a lot of the time you do have, it's just such good value for the card. I think it's definitely middle to top end of pretty good. Don't think it's quite chromed out. It's too situational for
yeah,
that, and it doesn't quite hit the units that it needs to be to get in that tier for me.
yeah.
But it's really good. Big
Would
fan
you
of it.
go above?
I've had a lot of use.
I mean, neither of us have played Gunpoint, but would you go above Gunpoint with this?
I think at the minute probably just because I
You've used
have
it.
seen how powerful this is.
Yeah, I do
So I think it'd
prefer
be a bit
Cyberpunk
unfair.
Nexus, so I don't mind that placement.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I see you've played. See that you play a lot more yellow than I do, and I've played a lot more blue. So that's where we flip flop on these things, isn't it?
Yeah,
Which is good. So we get different views on them.
100%, 100%. And then we've now got a 4 cost program, which is only 2 blue round, so it goes into any blue deck, and it's unlikely bonds. So bottom deck are ready friendly units. If you do, bottom deck are spent rival units. Kieran, coming to you. Where are you putting this?
I'll stick this in pretty good. Probably again middle pretty good. Probably just behind Cyber Psychosis maybe.
Okay.
Um, I was a bigger fan of it, but then as I've played it, it's not always just it's because you've got to get rid of one of your ready units, which is the drawback for me. But if you are playing some cheaper units like an Evelyn Parker, who the 2 cost 0 power one, you can swing with there and get your card draw. Then in the next turn, if
Yeah.
they have a blocker down and you're going to lose it, it might be just better to play this and get rid of it and get something off the board. So I think it does have its uses.
100%.
But yeah, it's to be honest, now I'm thinking maybe the bottom end are pretty good. Now I'm thinking through the times I've played of it.
Mid here.
It's got good potential. Yeah, around there maybe. It's just a spent unit that you can't get rid of. If you could get rid of a spent unit on your side, I think it would be a lot better because then
Yeah,
you can
because you get to
do a few more
swing with
things.
it as well as
Yeah,
get rid of a
it,
spent
it,
unit on their board.
exactly. It's kind of a bit like sacrificial. Like I'm going to sacrifice this to stop you advancing your board kind of play,
Yeah.
which is fine and it works. But yeah, I think I'm happy with that there. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I like the effect. I think the effect is really, really solid. Again, for me, this gives us reasons to play Jacked Out Voodoo Boys. It's not a card that I like.
Yes,
I've been quite vocal about that. But
just a little bit.
but a 2 cost unit that can come in ready. Then you just play this for 4 to get rid of one of their more problematic things.
Yep.
Something that's maybe beefed up with a lot of gear. I don't mind that as a play. Even at 6, that sort of style of removal, if you were to do that in one turn, it feels excessive. But actually, I think to get rid of something that's going to generate them a lot of value on the board isn't a bad way to go about it. But yeah,
No, definitely, definitely.
I'll be honest, I've not really played with this card that often. I'm just trying to think of situations where I could, and that's the one that I think I'm
Yeah,
coming up with is like play a 2 cost, or even play that turn 1 and just leave it there until you're ready to play Unlikely Bond.
I
Um,
think it could work. Like if you were playing in a deck with like is it the Voodoo Boys? That's it's 2-0 or something, is it? Um,
yeah,
and if you were playing in like a Judy Alvarez deck, you could play that, get a swing off it with the +1. Buff. If they've got no board, you can swing with it, take one, and then on your next turn, you can then get rid of it. Maybe to play this down
yeah,
to get rid of what they've just played
Yeah,
in effect. So I think it could have a juice
100%.
in that scenario.
But yeah, no, I'm happy with that placement. I do think it probably goes into that spot. Looking at our chromed out selections, I think each one of them is removable except for the ramp. And
Yes.
could you argue Chrome Revivery is removal because you're
Yeah.
stopping them from using it? It's not. It's
Uh,
like soft removal. So, but it's all
yeah.
like all of those pieces that we've put in Chromed Out are all like the control pieces, the pieces that are
Yes.
going to allow you to get ahead in the game, generate advantage. They're the cards that are going to win you games when you
Oh,
play them
definitely.
at the right time. So
Um,
they're all,
control is very good at the minute in Cyberpunk.
yeah.
There's
And
lots of good control
Unlikely Bond
cards.
fits in that category for me. It's
Okay.
the drawback of having to do it with a ready unit is difficult
Yeah.
to manipulate the board state to pull that off effectively.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I do think it goes in pretty good. Moving on to the last card, and Kieran, I know you're a bit of a fan of this one, so I will let you do the placement. It is a 5 cost program for RAM, so it has to go in double blue, which you've been playing a lot of, as you've mentioned. It is
Yes, sir.
Les Elements, bottom deck, a rival's lowest powered unit. If there are multiple, choose one. So, Kieran, give us the lowdown on this card.
For me, straight into Chromed Out. It's, again, like we said with the removal card so far,
Where
it's
where
such
would you
a
like
good card.
this?
This is the difficult part now. I think it's more towards middle, maybe. Yeah, around the middle somewhere.
Yeah, we'll just put it
Yeah.
smack bang in the middle. Do you think it goes above Wild in the Streets?
Um, I think they're
Very,
pretty
very
similar,
similar
to be fair.
cards.
Yeah.
That we were talking the same RAM, the same cost, but they have to be in double green or double blue.
Yeah.
Um,
I think they're kind of interchangeable, to be honest. But I think they are definitely, looking at that list, I think they're definitely the top four. I think I would go with Chrome Revert, maybe number one. Now I'm thinking about it.
okay.
But anyway, we'll do that in a second. About this card, it's awesome. It's 5, so it is a little bit expensive, but what you get from it is just such good value.
Yeah.
I found playing this, it's really good, sort of mid game. Like, if your opponent plays their first card down and then you answer with this, you just clear their board. You put them so far back, it's unbelievable. If you've got a few pieces in, like Maman Budget, and you've got this in there, and you're just sort of clearing their board as soon as they play stuff, and then you start hitting your big proceeds at the end, it just feels so nice. You've
Yeah.
took total control of the board. You've got your pieces down, and the game's going good. But I think, yeah, just as a standalone card, it costs 5. Most of the time, I found, so 95%, they do only have the one unit on board with the deck and the playstyle I've been testing lately.
Yeah.
So
So it
you
hits
do
whatever they've played.
exactly, like, you're hitting their main character. If there was a lot of cards, sort of, I guess, in the meta, which were running lots of early game cards, playing, like 1s and 2 drops and stuff like that, 3 drops, might be a bit more or less effective and a bit more or less consistent. But for now, I think it's one of the best removal pieces we have. So, how about yourself?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I, I think if you're playing heavy control and they've only got one thing at a time, this is one of the best cards in the game, 100%.
Yep.
So if you can pull that strategy off consistently, which you've raised about this quite a lot, then absolutely, yeah, I can completely see it. It's similar to why I like Live with the Aftermath, um,
Yes.
because it's just they tend to just have that one thing, so you can just get rid of it. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, no, I definitely see it. I do think it's very expensive though if they manage to go a little bit wide. I think obviously it probably struggles against any like really aggressive strategies.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I definitely can see why why this card is so strong. Um, again, just genuinely the removal in this game is quite expensive. So you have to manage your resources well. But obviously, if you can pull
Definitely.
it off, it puts you in such a favourable position.
I think that's a good thing though. Having, I
Yeah,
think removal in games should be expensive. Like you shouldn't be able to, in one turn, remove a few pieces off your opponent's board and still massively advance yours. I think if you
exactly.
get to that point in games, the game's
Yeah,
kind of gone, as people say. Um, yeah, it's like 5 cost feels it's expensive, but it feels like it's worth it um, to do it. So I think it's
yeah.
a nice balance I found at the minute with the removal pieces. They're not, they
Which is
don't
what
feel
that's all we want.
cheap
We
and
we want a
exactly.
nice balance. We want a nice balance between removal, between the utility pieces. You know,
Yeah,
we can see clearly our play style from this tier list because this tier list is based on our opinion at the end of the day and the way that we
exactly.
play the game. And you know, these
Yeah,
cards are the ones that are most impactful in games. These are the cards that are going to win you games, generate the advantage that you need to get over the line. So yeah, that's why we've placed them where we've placed them because this comes from
yeah,
our own testing, our own thoughts.
100%. I'm sure you ask someone else to have a completely different tier list based on
Yeah,
their preferences. That's
and
the fun of the game,
and
isn't it?
that's the way that they will play the game. So, you know,
Yep,
definitely interested to see what other people have got to say on where we've placed things, where they would place things. So, you know, this is the
for sure.
that we've got no more programs to talk about right now. So this is our list. I will
Yep.
download the image. Um, throw that out on Discord if anyone wants to have a little look. Maybe our Reddit channel as well. Just so,
Yeah, we can share it around. Yeah.
yeah, anyone want to give us any thoughts and feelings, tell us why we're wrong, go ahead. Happy to happy to be proved wrong on any cards
Yeah.
because you
I'm
know
happy
at
to
the
tell
end
you
of it,
why we're not wrong.
yeah. But also, I love the discussion. I genuinely could talk about cards all day long. I think TCG
Oh,
is
definitely.
such a good space, and we're getting some really quality stuff at the minute. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the
happy
best
to
parts
have
about
the discussion.
TCGs.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just chatting to other players and seeing what they do and why people do certain things within the decks. And, like you mentioned earlier with the cyber psychosis, I'd not even thought to play that and then sack
offensively.
my own body to, yeah, and then, win the game on it.
Yeah,
It's like, it's a really good play. But I've not played it enough and just never thought to do that. But
yeah.
yeah, that's part of the fun of the game, isn't it?
And that's why we play these games to come up with these little funky ideas and go, that's not going to work all the time, but it has just won me that game.
Yeah, yeah. Who's got the junkiest combo at the table?
100% playing Adam Smash at turn two is definitely the jankiest thing. But when
I,
you
I
pull it
want to.
off,
I
it's so
hope you
good.
pull that off in a game like at locals. I just want to be there when you do it.
I will be
Just see your
trying, don't
opponent's
worry. I
face
will
like,
be trying. Yeah, no, but the worst thing is, because that's the only thing on board, you gotta just play Les
I
Elements
know,
and it's gone, and I'm like, oh, come on now. Why
but
did you
it's
have
it's
to add
worth
that?
it.
You know what I mean? My 15 powered unit that's just taken out the board
Yeah,
on turn two, and you just go, yeah, just get rid of it with one card.
nah, get
Go
gone.
away.
But yeah, that's why removal's strong because it
That's
stops
what it
that
is.
kind of stuff.
Exactly. And the thing is, if that combo was consistent, like triple yellow would just be the deck that's everywhere. So I'm
Yes,
glad it's not, but I like
yeah,
the fact that it's in the game that we can do some
yeah,
really
definitely.
interesting things.
No, for sure. That's kind of fun. The fun part of the game isn't like it's not going to be the best deck, but if you want to have a bit of a mess around and run some fun stuff, you can still do that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think that's us gonna sign off.
Yes,
Been a pleasure to talk to you, my friend.
you too, as
Really
always.
enjoyed going through those. Any thoughts and feelings from you guys in the comments? Give us a shout. Let us know what you think. Let us know what placements where you put any of these programs. Do you think where we may have gone wrong or analyze something a bit differently to you? Give us a shout.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, pleasure as always. And yeah, we'll be back soon with more Cyberpunk TCG. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.